Hey guys, it is Tristan with Nerdette's NewsStand, and I want to talk about the petty. And when I say the petty, I mean Marvel and Image specifically, but all of this surrounding DC changing their distribution model, right? We saw them go from Diamond to Lunar and UCS, and a lot of this was to do with the fact that Warner Media was in a lot of debt, right? So what happens? What do you do when you're in debt? Well, as a consumer, I balance my checkbook. I look where I can cut corners, maybe not buy, that extra coffee on Friday, or maybe not buy an extra book that I don't need. That's how you cut debt. You eliminate stuff that you don't need that is costing you money. And by doing so, we saw some changes within DC Comics. And we're still seeing those changes slowly unfold. We're seeing some cancellation of some titles. Unfortunately, Red Hood was one of those titles I am upset about. But we also saw Harley Quinn and Supergirl. We saw some digital first titles come up, trying to make a little bit of extra money. They were, repurposing those Walmart giants, making some extra money that way. $1 for, a story. It was a good deal. I bought most of them, to be honest with you. And then I started realizing I was buying double content, so it was a little bit more specific with what I bought. But we are seeing a smart company, well, smart for the most part, do things that make sense. And in this world we live in right now, which is completely backwards, that is not allowed. You are not allowed to make good business decisions. Only decisions that work for everybody else. Only if they say you can. Like, this is the dumbest thing I have seen, especially when it comes to the change in distribution. How much pushback there was. Like, do you guys not remember when this whole bug hit? And it was immediately everything was impacted as far as distribution goes because one company says so. Like, when one company stops doing something, you go to a different company. It is that simple. If your McDonald's isn't selling coffee and you want their coffee, you go to a different McDonald's and get that coffee. Or you go to, your Shell station. Whatever. But the whole point is, if you can't do your job, you find somebody that can, right? Oh, but God forbid DC do something like that, and the whole world is going to get mad about it like giant children. So, I want to talk about Marvel first, because this one just kind of floors me. I didn't see this as ever something they would do. Now, that's pretty dumb, because if you look at their track record, and I'm not talking about sportsman-like rivalry. I'm not talking about, I'm better than you at this, or we have that. That's normal. That's what drives industries, whether it's comic books or games, or to be the biggest and the best. That drives you forward. But this is petty. So a lot of problems a while back when it came to comic book stores is the fact that Marvel would flood, and I mean flood, the shelves with variants. Like, I have a problem so with DC, a lot of the times we'll get a couple for anniversary editions or 80th anniversary, like we just did with Joker, or Batman Comics 127 or 1027. I'm going to be covering all of the DC upcoming news later on today, but it's going to have multiple variants. But when is there ever a need for more than one? There should never be a need for 20 variants, for 10 variants, for 5. There shouldn't be. And Marvel is so known for doing this. Well, guess what? They are simply at it again. And instead of just, making a variant for the book they're talking about, they decide to make it a dig at DC. And How old are you guys? Like, how old are you? This is the pettiest thing I have ever seen. Every single variant for the week of June 22nd, well, almost all of them, are just saying on sale Wednesday, right? We get it. New Comic Book Day has been Wednesday for a very long time. And as somebody who is a creature of habit, I don't mind. I don't, like, the first couple weeks it was a little weird to get used to. I was like, oh my, middle of the day, I'm like, oh my god, New Comic Book Day. I totally forgot. Other than that, that was all it took. That was literally all it took to get used to a day change difference. But yet you're going to show your super fancy variant cover here and throw some shade for reasons, I guess. I mean, if I thought this was anything other than petty, I might think, well, they're just being funny about it. No, they're definitely this is their way to throw shade. It comes out on Spider-Woman. I think that's number 2. I'll have to look. Oh, Spider-Woman number 1 was so bad. I can't imagine. Yeah, it's number 2. Yeah, haha, it's bad. Like, none of these books that are even available, and I don't buy Marvel, obviously, for the most part, I would not spend money on. Not because of the ridiculous variant, but because all of these books are really, really badly written. Like, Immortal Hulk was really good when it first started, but it's gone downhill since. And I guess maybe Venom, but even so, like, how old are you guys? Like, do I need to have a conversation with your babysitter or your mother at this point? Because this is petty as fuck. Like, I don't understand how a grown, I'm not talking about people here, but you would think I was, how a normal company operates this way. And it gets worse. Like, this is just a small jab. Whatever, fine. You did your little jab here. We're going to get to the real shade that's thrown, and that's actually by Image Comics. And I wasn't going to cover this until I seen this from Marvel. But, yeah, the publisher talks about how the decision for DC was hasty and sociopathic. Really? A decision to push their business forward, it's Eric Stevenson, was that crazy? Like, I don't understand how that even correlates. Do these people not realize, and I think this is a problem I talked about the other day, if you're not in comics to make comics and make money, get out of comics. This is such a petty tactic to do. This is really, really dumb. So he goes on this whole huge letter, and it's to creators, right? It's not supposed to have been seen. It is not supposed to have been leaked, but for once I can say thanks to Rich Johnston, who got it out there on Bleeding Cool. But he is mad, simply because DC is not going with Diamond. He says, pardon my profanity, but that's bullshit. That is a sociopathic decision made by people who do not care about the long-term welfare of our marketplace, let alone comics. Are you kidding me? So let's talk about what happened when the big bad bug hit. DC did go do some digitals. Let's see, how many people did they lay off compared to you, Image? How many pencils oh, right! None. Wait, what about compared to Marvel? Oh, right! You guys put everybody on furlough! But DC being able to still push forward by using different distribution models, and then also digital first, were able to push forward. Their creators were able to keep their jobs. They did have some kill orders, but those were more on the lines of, at least it seems like, those were more on the lines of the 5th generation, which, as of right now, seems like it's not going to come to fruition, but that's a whole nother video. But, Nothing about this. Nothing about this is crazy. They don't have to comply with what you say. They don't have to comply with your rules. And just because you don't want the change doesn't mean there was anything hasty about it. Doesn't mean it was psychotic. It doesn't mean any of that. You are not a 12-year-old girl writing a mean letter to somebody in class. You are a publisher at a company. You are a grown-ass man. You have no right to tell people how to act with their business. Not only that, but it looks really bad. And the funny thing is when I was looking over these stories, I'm like, well, maybe these people, are just one in a million in these companies. No, we've seen this coming for a long time now. A lot of them are petty, vindictive little brats that don't know how to act when it comes to a business standpoint. They have zero professional bones in their body, and they're only worried about themselves. They don't care. He says, in particular here about the welfare of the marketplace, let alone comics. They don't care about that. They want attention, and they're going to act like children in order to get it. Yes, Diamond's down to about 65 to 70% of the business they once had. Guess whose fault that is? That's Diamond's fault. Now, I don't care. Get your stuff distributed. It's not up to me to decide, those kind of things, or even judge those kind of things. Do I think DC did the correct, thing? I really do. But what I think this is really showing more and more over and over and over again is the fact that these people within this industry are just so petty. They're so dumb. Like, they should not be in the position they are. They haven't earned it. And if they have earned it, they lost that a long time ago. Because we're seeing people like Eric Stevenson here, who's acting like a complete child. And, Marvel by themselves, the whole marketing campaign on sale Wednesday. Congratulations. I won't be there on Wednesday because I'm not buying your comics, because I am not going to buy something that comes from somebody that acts like they're a 12-year-old girl. Trust me, I was a 12-year-old girl once. We're fucking terrible. Anyways, this is so dumb. This is like the dumbest thing I have seen in quite a while when it comes to this industry. But you know what? It makes me want to buy DC even more, even though, yeah, it's obvious I'm a DC fangirl, but even so, like, this has to be the most unprofessional week when it comes to big corporate entities in a very, very long time. But it's okay, because Image, you make hardly a quarter of the money DC does, so it's good. It's good. I don't even care. I just think it's funny. Oh, I remember when I was 12 and had my first beer. Anyways, let me know what you guys think about this. I will have a better video up later on today about the different stuff going on at DC right now. All of the stuff that Image and Marvel's mad about, because DC's sitting pretty right now with Metal and with the way their books are doing. How you doing, Image? Thought so. Anyways, I will see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye. Hey guys, I want to give a huge shout out to my Patreon and subscribe stars. You guys literally make this channel possible. Huge thank you to Cage the Mick, Robert Mick Twiz, Black Knight Fool, Brucey, Chris Z, David L, David Rafford, Jeffrey Allen Carnes, Mighty Balls, Mike Buckner, Maizen Barbosa, Ruskar, Ryan Decker, Robert Hoffman, and Doc Holliday. You guys are absolutely amazing, and thank you so much for all your support. Don't forget on the way out to like as always if you enjoy the content, and hit subscribe. And I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.